What up? What up? It's your boy, Mr. Skrilltown himself. And tonight we have our special guest, Vegas, West Coast. We are here. Lil Rambo 300, man. American Monster Gill is in the
Yeah.
building. One of the hottest West Coast rappers right now. And, just by talking to this young brother, he got game. He got knowledge, man. So before we get on with old Lil Rambo 300.
Just nothing with nigga. Don't let him fool you, man.
You see that? Yeah, look, he already going. He going for it. So, all right, before we get on here.
No shit.
We're going to let you check out a couple promos. What's coming soon from Skrilltown and Lil Rambo 300.
Yes, indeed.
Friend, someone to text friend. Soon as I become your ex, he'll become the sex friend. Don't make yourself look less than playing these silly games. Instead of speaking the truth, you repeating lies to my face. Like,
I know that you've been saying he's your best friend. I know that you've been saying he's your best friend. Best friend. I know that you've been saying he's your best friend. Best friend. I know that you've been saying he's your best friend. Best friend. I know that you've been saying he's your best friend. Best friend. I know that you've been saying he's your best friend. Best friend. I know that you've been saying he's your best friend. Best friend. I know that you've been saying he's your best friend. I know that you've been saying he's your best friend. But do you remember when you said he was your cousin? I know that you've been saying he's your best friend, but do you remember? Yeah, that's one. Now check out my boy, Lil Rambo 300.
Hard in my past, never going back. They were hard and bad, I was holding crack. They were holding on their crash, I was quarter packs. Once a Ross rack shopper, now I'm going to Saks. I promise I'm different, I truly got a vision. Develop skills, Fairy Potter ain't had the picture. Beat the game and never let me in it. It made it better, that's what I'm content with. Okay, it's okay. Ain't playing both sides like a safe. Okay, it's okay. Pistol on me, it ain't never on safe. Okay, it's okay. Say they made it old boat and go replace. Okay, it's okay. Fucking fame, I'd rather count it up like Jason. Got a feeling that's the reason why they hate me. Sell a record or go what, I'm still gravy. See the real back, the haters say it can't be. Shout it up because we everywhere that came.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's happening, Lil Rambo 300, man? What's going on? What's good?
Another day in paradise, brother. You know how it goes, man. Shit.
Yes, sir.
Traversing and navigating, man, through these badlands, as they say. They
all day long, man. Hey, you got some dope music, man. We talked before we got on air. Dope music coming from the West Coast. Tell us how you got started, bro.
Well, I started recording. I did my first actual studio record at 14. So it started from my brother. He got this little camera and shit where I was able to record your vocals over beats and shit. So we take little CD players. He been on this before MP3s, before streaming. It's 2005. So we take our little favorite mixtape, instrumentals, burn them onto a CD. LimeWire, we already know. If you know what's up,
LimeWire,
you know. You feel me? These are in those days to give you a clear picture of the era I was in. So we would download the B CDs off of there. Go to our laundromat that was in the back of our building, and we would just record. We would just record us freestyling. We would write shit, record what we wrote. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then from there, I landed into I was fucking washing cars and mowing lawns and fucking sweeping porches for extra paper, and I saved. So I was able to afford my first studio session. Went there, 14, we recorded some little bullshit. If I'm not mistaken, we remixed We're Taking Over by DJ Khaled and Big Things Poppin' by T.I.
Oh, yeah, y'all was doing it.
This is around the time those songs came out. So at that time, it's and keep in mind, I'm a West Coast cat, but T.I. was one of my favorite rappers. To this day, he's one of my favorite lyricists. And
same here, bro. Same here.
From there, I just never stopped, bro. You know, I started from there. That was my first session. I had it at 14, and I just never stopped.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So tell us, you know what I'm saying, what made you pursue this for real? Like when you went into, phase 2 of really getting into it and wanting to become a professional musician.
to keep it G with you, people will have their elaborate their elaborate answers to this, but I never expected for it to become what it's become.
Really?
I started this as a means of therapy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You come from the streets, man. You come from the bottom. I could have been doing anything else. I could have been doing so many different things in my life that wouldn't have resulted in much.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, when I started recording, I did that first session, I realized how therapeutic it felt. It's just, you can release all of that rage, all of those negative energies, all of the shit that would drive you to do something that will land you in a bad position. And I channeled that energy into music, into this. So it became what it is now through that. I never had intentions on this becoming something that was bigger than myself. It was a means for me to express my rage, you know?
So basically taking negative energy and turning it into positive.
Man, therapy.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So, I know for a fact that the West Coast scene has always been big on music, but Vegas is really starting to pop off. And I've been down there, shout out to Dev. Dev is doing big things over at American Monster Guild. Y'all squad is thick.
Oh, yeah. Shouts to Samson. Shouts to Pace Brown.
Yes, sir.
Shouts to Rick Wild out of Florida. No, if I'm not mistaken, let's not misquote me. He's out of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts to the whole lineup, man. And the thing about Vegas is not that we haven't had, or I can't necessarily say we, I'm a transplant, but as far as the Vegas music scene goes, it has not been, it's not a new insurgence of heavy hitters. You have your Dizzy Wrights, of course. And he's like the biggest name out of Vegas that I could think of on hand. But as far as just the local hierarchy, you have acts like Misfit.
I've heard of Misfit.
Right. Shouts to Misfit. You have acts like Hard Work LA. You have acts like Kane Sosa. You have acts like so many different acts that came out of Vegas. Bobby Von Jovi. The list goes on. And even deeper underground, like you have the Rat Pack MCs, and you have fucking Mr. Crimson, and you have fucking oh my god, like the list goes on. You have the strong hustle boys. Like it goes way deeper, man. And the thing about the Vegas music scene is that I preach this, and I may become the person with the unpopular opinion, but inclusivity is missing in the Las Vegas scene.
So why do you say that?
Because it's so political.
Okay.
You have people that they have venues, and instead of using that venue to spotlight all of the talent and then inviting people from out of town, they would have their own borders among borders, and it will draw borders among borders in the actual event, to where you're not really getting any networking done outside of the city of Vegas. You're only just networking amongst your peers. And it took me going to different places. I went to Atlanta. I went to, I'm from California, and going to the East Coast, and, seeing how those dynamics are different. They're inclusive. Yeah. The inclusivity factor is way higher as opposed to how it is here,
Wow.
And
okay.
When you try to break that shit down, egos get hurt,
Yeah, absolutely. The truth hurts. It always does. Always does.
That's always been my thing. It's like, even though the only reason I'm as known as I am is from my track record. It's not because of my popularity. I'm not the most popular person. Like, you don't see me outside every day. I'm not on live 1 million times a day. I'm not. I work. I do the work. You know what I'm saying?
You put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So with that involved, I've learned when you do the work, then you're going to be bounced into a population of people who do that also.
Right.
But in Vegas, they take that as a sense of competition as opposed to a sign of let's network.
That's a bad way of looking at things when, if they do that too, because but I'm gonna be honest with you, it happens everywhere, because we had the same conversation in Kansas City. Like, somebody blow up and then they find out they from Kansas City, and then you get this conversation going on. Well, how come I never heard of them here? Well, it's because of exactly what you just said. your focus is on everybody else. You got the
Absolutely.
talent right in front of you, and you're not using it. You're not utilizing it.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's why I like Devin, because he brought y'all together. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking
Kingmaker, man. He
outside of
understands
Rick.
that. He
Yeah,
understands that.
yeah.
He definitely
Outside of
understands.
Rick, everybody else is from like that area.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I like his flow. I like the way his concept of doing things. You know what I'm saying? So with that diversity of Vegas, you know, in the music scene, what
Man, that's
is?
where that's where he changes the dynamic, because he's
Mm-hmm,
one of the rare entities out of Vegas that does not think that way. He has a real industrial way of viewing networking.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he views it as, let's build entities by cross marketing and networking and showing up to these other events and doing it with no malicious intent. It's not political. It's all in showing support, and you see
Right.
what we're doing, and I could possibly help you with the services I have to offer, and you may be able to help us with the services you have to offer, and the inclusivity of it all. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
being a person that's willing to say, we have what we have going, but we can integrate, or at least I can give you game. At least I can show you some
That's
tips to what help my entity, grow. And
yeah,
that's what that, primarily that's what's missing. You
yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
that's what makes
So
Devin different for sure.
So what? So out of this whole diversity scene out there, what does Lil Rambo 300 bring to the table? Like, what makes you different? You know, what makes your music stick out?
Um, I'm just a real student to the game, man. I'm not. I won't put myself in a bracket of. I'm not in a basic room. And
Right.
I grew
Yeah.
up in a class of storytellers, and you know I have great mentors. Like, I have mentors like Wolfgang Amadeus. And by the way,
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't checked out, he has an entire documentary that you can either purchase on Amazon or go watch for free on Tubi, and it's called We in the West. Go check that out. He's a
Mm.
big mentor of mine. And I have mentors like Gutter from Addicted to Ink, and Jay Smooth from Inked Up, and
Yeah.
Devin, of course, from AMG. And they
Mm-hmm.
really facilitated how to draw something that people can gravitate towards. Let's not just make it about just making the next dopest song. Like,
Yeah.
I'm about social awareness, and the
Mm-hmm.
same vein as Kendrick is, and in the same vein as J. Cole. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the person that's willing to be the loudest in the room.
Right. Right.
And what I bring to the table is substance. In
Yeah.
in the era where substance is celebrated, but only when people are ready to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's deep, man. And I mean, that's different, but that's a good different. And that's what we need. We don't need the same stuff all the time. Just, I preach this to everybody, like, stop being so trendy, get back to the basics, get back to putting out real good music, putting out real good messages. So tell us about your upcoming project.
Um, the upcoming project that I have is actually my debut album, War Wounds.
Okay.
It's been now. I can say that I could take the same approach as Nipsey Hussle did with Victory Lap.
Mm,
I cannot draw a direct date on it.
yeah.
It's really just based on the energy. It's based on the timing. It's based on the alignments that I have at the time, whether or not it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. It's like, yes, I know people that are in major labels. Yeah, I know producers. Yeah, I know engineers. Yeah, I know promoters, this, that, and the third. But
Mm-hmm.
it has to make sense. It has to align
Absolutely.
with the timing that fits best for me. You know what I'm saying? And as an artist,
Absolutely.
it's like, we get that drawn. It's like, I had a spurt where I put out songs way too much. I oversaturated, and
Mm-hmm.
it handled the business as far as getting people to know who I am,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't fulfill that goal that I had for me as far as putting out that ideal project, And then coming up, listening to the people that I look up to as far as artistry, like your Kendricks, your Hoves, your
Yeah.
Coles. They all had their magnum opus projects, before the next level was even mentioned. And that's what War Wounds is to me. War Wounds is my Friday Night Lights. War Wounds is my Thank Me Later. War Wounds is my So Icy by fucking Jeezy and Gucci. It's like those are my first impression records, so I'm really taking my time with it. I'm networking, getting with different producers, trying to facilitate the sound that I want to introduce myself with.
Right.
Which is always hard. First impressions are always the hardest because you only get one chance. So
you only get one chance to make a first impression, man.
Sure.
Shout out to cousin Rodney Hickman. Shout out to Dusty McCone and Tina Marie Hines, who have all tuned in tonight. We appreciate the support and the love. We're looking for more people to tune in. So going into what you just said about, putting a lot of thought and effort into a project. Back in the day, you coming up, me coming up, the generations were, I'm going to bring out this album that's going to have all these different songs that had different meanings to them, and it's going to make a lot of sense. And you might not hear from me again for another 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And now you got some people bringing out songs every week, others bringing out songs every month, and some bring out songs every 3 months. How do you get back to doing it that way, the way we know, it making sense and also being successful at the same time?
You have to find a true formula. A true formula, man. It's like we live in the era now to where information is given to you and consumed at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And the way that the music industry was, at first, you had a project, the project came out, and then everyone knew when the project was coming out, and they went and they bought those albums, and then they gave their input. Now it's not the same. Now you can put out a freestyle on Instagram. Now you can put out an album on your own. You don't need a label to put forth a rollout for that. You can, if I can literally upload a record in front of you right now while I'm on an interview and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that in place, it has definitely made it hard to actually find your fan base as an independent artist because it's saturated the market so much. It went from you had a market to where in a certain genre you had like a list of songs that were the must listens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we're talking about if you were looking for a new artist, you have at least 600,000 new artists to pick upon any given day.
Yep. And they say 60,000 songs are made daily in the world. 60,000 songs.
Yes.
So I mean, that's crazy, man. So what are your, I know you said Amadeus is one of your mentors. Who else influences you? Who else do you call as a role model? Think we got a little technical difficulty going on right now. Okay, so looks like we lost Lil Rambo 300. But until he comes back, what he brought up made a lot of sense. It's nothing against nobody that's bringing out music every other week. But I get people. I can hear you, Lil Rambo. I just can't see you. But I get people from time to time that ask me, what's the proper way or the best method to, release music. And it's really it's nothing in black and white. It's really no book that you go and look at to find that type of information. It's really upon the person that's bringing out the music. Everybody has their own philosophy, and I agree with Lil Rambo 300. I've always been one to put a lot of thought into the way I bring out music. That's why a lot of my music and the artists that I work with. Okay, we got them back. But no, what I was saying was a lot of the artists I work with, they don't sound like everybody because it's all about, what I tell the artists that I work with, and I'm gonna get off this so we can get back on this interview, is that the video and the song, I want people to watch it again. I don't want them to watch it or listen to it one time and don't pick it up ever again. So you have to put a lot of thought and creativity into your work in order for people to watch it again. It's kind of like how back in the day you could go to the theater. I watched Boys in the Hood actually the other day for probably the 90,000th time. but
It's
it's
on
like,
the list. Like, it's like you gotta just keep watching it. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna find something new every time you watch it.
right. And that movie don't get old to me. It's always a good movie, and that's how you want your music to be. So yeah, so no, back to what I was asking you is like, outside of Amadeus being one of your influences and mentors, who else would you say on a musical level or just a business level is a mentor or role model to you?
Well, of course, you can't ask these questions without having an answer, to the liking of your Jay-Z's and, your Yo Gotti's,
Mm-hmm.
your man, the list goes on. You have your 50 Cents as far as like
50.
transitioning into the TV executive role. And
Mm-hmm.
we watched this shit happen before our eyes. Like we watched these people become that they were platinum selling artists in their respective their eras, and then they became something else. And you realize that in multimedia, you have to be adaptable.
Right.
You have to be to a point where you're willing to take what you've learned from one medium and then send it to the next, and still be adequate in that shit. So those are people that I look up to the most, like in the vein of the Jay-Z's and in the vein of the Kanye's, even though we all have our mixed opinions about Kanye West, but I have to list him as a definite influence because impact.
Absolutely.
Impact is something that matters so much in this way, in this era that we're in, because sensationalism is it's a driving force in any successful story these days. It has to be sensational. It has to be something that, of all of the things that you can see in this world, that's what draws you. Like it's like, oh shit, that maybe in the same realm as something that I'm used to seeing, but it's different,
Right. Yeah. See, that's why I said, like, talking to Lil Rambo 300 before the interview, I realized this guy is very knowledgeable, smart dude. Takes a lot to make a lot in this industry. Educating yourself is always number one for me, and this guy seems like he's done that. So with that being said, if you had 3 producers or MCs that you could choose from to work with on any project, who would they be?
3 MCs or producers. This any time era, just the time era we're in right now.
Anytime. They can be dead or alive.
Okay. And 3 means producers and MCs collectively, or 3 producers and 3 MCs?
Either or. You can mix it up, mix and match, however you want to do it.
Damn, so only 3.
He said only 3.
Oh, fuck. Okay. All right. Well, for sure, regardless, I have to have Pharrell.
Yeah, that's dope right there. Right off the cuff, that's dope. Yeah.
Regardless, like it's something about having him attached to a project and then being able to be in the session and then just bounce off of his sonics, like to spit some shit. And the magnum opus moment for that will be just spitting some shit that I have and then having him play some keys to it.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'd have to listen for that, just to be able to bounce sonic ideas off of him. The second would be Tyler the Creator.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with
I'll put
that.
it to you this way: you don't win Grammys for no reason, bro.
Right. Yeah.
People
It's
have
hard.
their mixed reviews about what an ideal rapper is or what an ideal hip hop artist is. But if you pay attention to the game, you pay attention to the industry, it's ever expanding, it's ever growing, it's ever evolving. And Tyler has rolled with the punches the entire way. And his sonics show that. Like, if you guys are in the frame of mind where you're willing to listen to progressive rap, listen to Igor by Tyler the Creator.
Wow. Okay.
You know,
and I'm about to check that out.
So he's definitely a second, man. Oh my God. And the third, it's always the hardest. The last choice is always the hardest choice. Okay.
You know what? I got one for you. I'll make it easy for you. If you had a budget, unlimited budget, one feature,
that
one
don't make
track.
it no easier. Should that make it harder? The fuck? You mean to tell me I can afford these features?
Yeah. He said that make it harder.
That don't help things, man. You feel me? Oh, man, hey, man, if I had the third, of course, I tried to figure out all of the other options, but the last option would always have to be Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z, dope.
I would want him to be an MC and an executive producer on the project.
Right.
Most of my favorite artists, when it came to Neo, who executive produced his first project. When it came to Lupe, who executive produced his first project.
Yep.
You know?
Right, bro. That dude's a genius, man. Everybody that you've named in conversation has been, either a mogul or, entrepreneur or a genius. Like when it comes to music, Kanye, 50, Jay-Z, Pharrell, Neo. I mean, all those, man, So, I'm glad that you appreciate it.
Down to 3. Oh my God, you're killing me.
Well, that's what I always do, man. Like, people, and they all say the same thing. It's always hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always hard. Because, and then, going back to what you said about seeing these artists, like career blossom, you know what I'm saying? Like when we first seen Jay-Z, when he first came out and everybody's like, what's up with this dude in these suits? And, trying to look like God.
Nobody's going to mention that. And by the way, let me say this now. Never be afraid of that rough patch.
Yeah.
Never let that shit deter you. This is a fun fact about Jay-Z. This is Jay-Z we're talking about. The Jay-Z. Every major label that he took his first album to, like, turned him down.
Yep.
Every single. Same with Dr. Dre, but we're talking about Jay-Z right now.
Right. Yep.
Every major label he went to turned him down. It took him, Dame, and Biggs, Kareem Burke, to start Rockefeller Records for him to get Reasonable Doubt out. He was 26.
And you know what? Just to be 100, a lot of people didn't understand that album at first. I
bet it's in their playlist. And if it's not,
it is too.
If it's not in your playlist, I'm not telling you start listening to it or forcing you to put it into your playlist, but at least listen to that album once.
Right.
Start to finish. I guarantee you're going to pull something out of there. You're going to have a track that you're going to add to your playlist.
It's a message, man. It's all about the message. Like that's what we getting away from. And like I said, it's nothing against nobody right now, but all the copycats and mimicking and all that, once that's over with and done, then what's next? You get a lot of artists that can't rebound from that. They can't bounce back.
J. Cole said that's, man, a 1985 effect.
Yeah, it's like you can't bounce back. You too busy trying to sound like everybody and do the things that everybody's doing, and you just can't do it. You gotta, and that's what that's the one thing when it comes to like the success of Jay, Master P. A lot of like moguls like that, they was doing stuff that we was thinking that was really weird, but it wasn't. It was something that they had already believed in, and it worked for them. Yeah,
and 9 times out of 10, you're dealing with opinions from people who simply don't do it.
Right.
So it's like I've always done that. Like I come off as an asshole with that, but if you've never booked a studio session and went in there and recorded something that you've written to a beat, you would nowhere near know what process that comes with. Like, you wouldn't understand how that works.
Yeah, until you do it.
So
and
it's
then
like,
you admire the people that have done it for
exactly.
years. Like,
and then the people that you listen to and you be like, I like that song. It hits different when you understand the process of recording those records.
Or what about an artist that actually do an album or EP freestyling, and
Which,
it'll succeed?
I mean,
You've had those.
you have people like that. Like, shout out to folks like Papoose, my son. These are people who can just come off the cuff with some like goat shit. You got all of Griselda, you know what I'm saying?
Man, yeah.
And the Locks. These are people who
Oh my God.
they are all freestyle artists. And they have come into their own as becoming a hip hop mainstay.
Yeah.
And it's possible, but it's not what people are looking for. You understand? In this
day and age,
the attention span that the average listener has is very low. You have to have something that is so popping to the ear to where I once was told that the first 15 seconds of a song are the most integral.
Yeah, it's the most important, because it was just like these interviews, man. I'll be honest, like, you can't catch people's attention by the first 10 to 30 seconds. They ain't gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, doing it through YouTube and having a permanent placement, it helps a lot, because people can always go back, but you still want to grasp the first, it live. You want to grasp their attention live. You know what I'm saying? So going into the end of our interview, what do our listeners, fans, and soon to be followers, what do they have to look forward to for Lil Rambo 300 this year and going into next year?
Honestly, you want to look for me over the next 20 to 30 years. I plan to be, if not the next, one of the next more prominent hip hop billionaires.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
how to look at it.
Rap is a gateway. Music is just one faction of the multimedia game. And I can never put myself in a frame. Whenever I get asked these types of questions, I always think towards legacy. I want to have a Rockefeller. I want to have a institution. I want to have a real instrumental role in the progression of the culture. I don't want to just be a person that's leeching off of it, or just playing my role, or just having a winning season in it.
Right. Yeah.
This is my life. I can't imagine myself being a part of any other culture that has embraced me as much as hip hop has.
That's dope, man.
So, next year, I really can't tell you. It's just everything that I do is invested into the culture and invested into my progression as an MC. And you just got to let time do its thing on it,
Right. Stay tuned. That's what he says. Hey, stay tuned. Well, I want to give you some love, man. I appreciate this conversation, man. We could have went on and on. I like speaking to people that know what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about. It's cool to interview cats that's thriving and all that, but when you talk to somebody that know exactly what they talking about, yeah, I'm with it, man. I appreciate you. You got my love, man. You got my support. So for the listeners, where can they find you at on social media or so forth?
Well, my Instagram, you can find me at Rambo Loso. That's RAMBOLOSSO. And that's all one word, no spaces. And if you want to find me on as far as my music's concerned, you can find me on any streaming platform at LILRAMBO. Rambo 300, the number 300. And, you know, to be honest, you can find so many of my records off of there. And then if you just dig a little deeper, you got Rambo 300 or Rambo 300. I have a lot of different entities I'm working on as far as like the names. I'm big on that. I'm ever evolving. So my name may not even be the same a year from now. I'm self-aware of that. So as of now, you can find all of my bigger records on Lil Rambo 300 on streaming platforms or Rambo 300. And also look for TRILLAHAUS. It's Trilla House. That's my brand.
Okay, Trilla House.
You may have seen it before. If not, look into that. That's going to be where a lot of my later releases are coming out.
Okay.
You know, they're going to be they're going to be released through that avenue.
Okay, cool. So shout out to Gina Tarantino. What's going on? Willie Minor was popping, bro. And everybody else that tuned in tonight, check this out on YouTube. Check out the placement. Check out this interview is dope. And check out any other music that comes from Lil Rambo 300. Trilla House. Skrilltown MO. American Monster Gill. Oh, and then, like I said, man, we coming. Just stay tuned and be patient. Until next time, we out. 100.